Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you. You're a terrorist.
I was going to say, is that the Mandarin?
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of terrorism.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is the Takedown DC podcast.
Oh no. Oh no. We're on a watch list.
This is Someone Should Stop DC podcast.
Oh no.
Those fascists at DC podcast.
I mean, I don't disagree, but
I'm not a terrorist.
If I'm on vacation,
I'm just a freedom fighter.
If I'm on vacation and I see a CNN like crawler that mentions the Dr. DC podcast as a terrorist organization, I would be very upset.
Podcaster Dr. DC as his
Worldwide Manhunt called.
Alias is known as Dr. DC escapes to France.
The French government refuses to extradite.
The French government immediately extradites and gives him up. Let's go with what probably would happen. Anyways.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, I gave the gambit away a little bit. If you're listening to this, I'm on vacation.
Oh, mon ami.
Where's your good friend? We haven't heard from him in a while. Where's Logan from the Bayou?
Oh, you like that Logan from the Bayou? Oh, bonsoir, mon frère.
Snickety.
Oh, you like that snickety. You go down there in the bayou, you get some crocodile, eh? You get down there in the swamp and you go round and round. Inside that swamp, you get a little bit of messy, but don't worry, you got that snickety, go right inside that crocodile. You pull them out, you pull out that clock.
Shoot him with that adamantium bullet.
Oh, you know about that adamantium bullet gun gonna get real inside you, then, right? But you can get inside and then cut inside your body, but don't worry, because you got any healing powers.
What a deep cut. I don't think we've heard from him.
No, he's been quite a while.
In months, yeah.
Too long. He's been a fortnight down in the swamp.
I actually think he's been gone the full length of time that the Swamp Thing TV show was on.
Oh, did I make a Twitter mess and got canceled?
Yeah. Do you think he's also from Murray, Louisiana?
Oh.
Now Murray in the bayou.
I'm from Bill Murray.
I don't know. All right, do that impression. Do Cajun Bill Murray. Let's see your range.
Hold on. Oh, I got that fight with that bayou but I still got my snickety, so everything's going all right.
It's still Logan.
Yeah, but it's everything's still going all right with you.
So your Cajun Bill Murray is also Wolverine because he's still snickety.
Yeah, but
right? Bill Murray as Wolverine as a Cajun.
Oh, you are like you're my friend Dana. He's she used to be a lady, but now she's.
I hear there's only Zoo.
I keep asking for that Dana, but apparently no, there's no Dana. There's only the Zoo.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was a brief clip that we played from the alternate reality where Louisiana conquers the world.
Oh, I was just walking around and then suddenly I found a wedding and I just popped on in and got some photos of me. My name is Bill Murray.
Wow.
That's real life, Bill Murray.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well done. What incredible range.
You know me.
Yeah. I gave up the ghost. If you're listening to this, I'm on vacation.
You give up a ghost? Bill Murray knows all about that. He gets rid of them ghosts. You got go.
God damn it!
Just don't cross the damn streams. It's no good.
Jesus.
It's like two dogs getting a fight on a birthday party. Everybody's happy, but it's no good.
What an insane metaphor! What a fucking crazy metaphor! Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm away. We pre-recorded this.
Oh, so you're saying this from space?
I'm technically traveling through time into your ears.
Oh.
So,
well, I mean, you're in my ears. Why not go a little farther south? Down to the bayou.
Oh my god, I made a terrible miscalculation. But yeah, we already did like a Fanstravaganza mailbag episode. I thought it would be fun. We haven't done one of these in a very long time, but I thought it'd be fun if we did another trading card episode.
Yes.
I've got that set of DC trading cards, and what we had done in the past, we did one I think in episode 10, and we did another one maybe in episode like 30 something or 40 something, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun. Get you to just pick like 10 of these trading cards, and we would talk about the characters because there's some weird ones that are sort of mixed up in this set. So I think we've got about 10 going, and yeah.
I believe my first one was it Gangbuster?
It was Gangbuster. That is correct. So Gangbuster. This is a pretty 90s character.
Yeah.
This character, he comes from that same section of Metropolis that Black Lightning does, the Suicide Slum.
Oh.
It's the part of Metropolis that Superman doesn't really patrol because that's where the poors are.
That's like it's like Cass Corridor in Detroit for you Michiganders.
Oh God, I guess you know the sketchy parts of Detroit.
Yes, Cass Corridor is the part where the cops don't go.
Oh really? Is it what, like Compton in the 90s? They just like withdrew?
They basically just, it's not worth going down because they'll get shot at.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. That is grim.
At least that's what it was like a decade ago.
I mean, I guess Suicide Slum is sort of like that. At any rate, the story of Gangbuster is essentially Lex Luthor, for some reason I don't remember offhand, starts like basically stoking gang violence and the drug trade in Suicide Slum, and basically like employing like gangs of young people to do some of like the groundwork on the street for whatever nefarious purposes he has. And Gangbuster is like an educator and things like that. So
Black Lightning.
Similar to Jefferson Pierce. I think he's maybe Hispanic though. I think his name is like Jose. And he sees this happening, and he basically, with no powers, becomes the Gangbuster and basically like fights these gangs in Suicide Slum to sort of disrupt Lex Luthor's operations. He's a character you see a lot in 90s Superman comics. There, at a certain point, he fights. He gets his back broken. And he can't use his leg.
Oh, does he?
And he can't, yeah, your body. And he can't use his legs anymore.
What will break first, your nunchucks or your body?
But he gets some experimental treatment that, like, there's like a chip or something that like connects to his spine, so he gets motion back. He learns later that medical technology.
Oh wait, is that who they were turning that the girl's boyfriend in Black Lightning?
No. It's separate from Painkiller.
Oh, okay.
So it's totally different. But again, you know, like correcting spinal injuries is like a recurring thing in comics. He learns that the piece of technology that enables him to walk again was created by LexCorp, and it actually allows Lex Luthor to take control of his body. So for a bit, he's like an unwitting pawn of Lex Luthor too. But that's Gangbuster essentially. Essentially a non-powered person that's literally busting up gangs in this one part of Metropolis.
Wow.
Yeah. Very 90s.
Yeah, that's... What's with the nunchucks?
Well, you know.
But, like, that wasn't an answer.
There's not really, like, a story to it.
Does he, like, have, like, kung fu?
No, he just has nunchucks.
That doesn't... Okay.
Sorry, you're asking me to go back and apply logic and reason to, and wait for it, the 90s.
I mean, fair enough. If chain wallets and Jinko jeans were possible, then anything was. Did you have? Oh no! Did you have Jinko jeans and
I had those big motherfuckers.
Really?
Because I was a skater, man. I used to skateboard.
Were they all chewed up on the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from skating.
From
doing dark slides.
Yeah, because you know that the best way to skateboard is to be weighed down and having like huge protrusions from your legs.
At the time, the school of thought was that the big jeans helped.
How?
All the greatest skateboarding academics told us so.
Oh, they're academics now.
Yeah. I used to watch a bunch of skateboarding TED Talks.
But also, like, the outfit, he kind of looks like somebody from He-Man.
Well, and it's all browns, and he almost has...
But also neon colors as well.
Yeah, it's a weird outfit. I have a couple of issues of, like, Superman and
I mean, I'm
like
just looking at him of a few issues.
that feature Gangbuster. Well, he's got issues, too, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of like an earthy tone. It's a pretty ugly costume, but again, very 90s. There's not a ton to say about him, really. Like, he hasn't had a big impact. It's not like...
He's never come back up again.
It's never been like, and then eventually he beat Darkseid or like some shit like that. Like, he's just like, he's sort of forgotten. He's gone. Yeah.
His nunchucks were somehow the answer to the anti-life equation.
Yeah, yeah. The life equation was within his nunchuck ability. Yeah.
It's really stupid. All right. Then let's go to the next question, or the next card, which is Ice.
Ice.
Ice to see you.
Allow me to break the ice.
I chose this character because it's like generally people try like to like take an ability and like coyly give you the name that would maybe attach itself to it. I mean, there's Mr. Freeze, which at least like yes, it says what he does, but at least it
if anything, that one's a step down because he is a doctor.
Yeah, he's not Dr. Freeze, which I guess he should be. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
He went to how many years of medical school just to become a mister?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a wow. I think you just we're breaking this wide open. But it's like the Flash. It's at least not like it's not just called Speed.
Yeah,
you know.
Sure. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Superman's not just called Alien.
I mean, part of the context of this is that Ice is really part of a duo. Well, or ends up part of a duo called Fire and Ice.
Of course.
So Ice herself, her name is Tora Olafsdottir.
Stella Ella Ora Tora.
I think she's Norwegian, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
And you're going to laugh at this. Her name is Ice. She actually replaces a different ice-themed Norwegian superhero called Ice Maiden.
Of course. But Ice Maiden's better. At least you added a little stank onto it. Like
Ice Maiden was
not
like
just ice.
Was like a Norwegian government experiment who had ice and cold powers.
Okay.
Ice, though, Tora has like kind of magic-based ice powers. I'm pretty sure they're magic. Because she's had them like since she was...
all dance the Torah.
She's had them since she was a little kid. But essentially, like, she joins like the Global Guardians and the Justice League International, like that in that sort of like silly Bwaha era of the league.
Yeah,
in there with Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, and Guy Gardner, and Martian Manhunter, and stuff like that. The reason I say she becomes part of a duo is that she is sort of like timid and shy and kind and naive and sort of like a girl next door type.
That's definitely the imagery on this card.
And Fire, a Brazilian with fire powers, is this like sexy.
Surprised it's not Italian, like, but I guess Brazilian works too. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So they're like, one's from Brazil and one's from Norway.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't be more different.
Oh, you say that now different, eh?
So to me, the name is slightly less silly in conjunction because it's like part of a bigger thing. But
cards conjunction.
But Ice is like an extremely like powerful member of the Justice League. I think she's one of very few that doesn't get like straight up murked by Doomsday when Doomsday shows up on the scene. She does eventually get killed, but she is like known for being romantically linked with Guy Gardner. That's his real like sweetheart is Ice. Even in the New 52, when a lot of stuff got like sort of thrown out, there is still some Guy Gardner and Ice interaction, particularly while he's a Red Lantern. There's some stuff with them in there. They're romantically linked, but yeah, she eventually is killed on a Justice League International mission, and doesn't come back to life for a long time. There's a couple of things where she's temporarily resurrected, like by Felix Faust or like some sorcerer or something.
Yeah.
But in general, she's sort of from that era. That Keith Giffen, silly Blue Beetle Justice League era. There is, I believe, one live action version of Ice, which is the failed Justice League TV pilot from 1990. or 1992 or whenever it was, where they were doing it almost like a sitcom where they lived in a house together. Ice was one of the characters. It was Fire and Ice and a Green Lantern and a Flash and the Atom. That was the lineup for that TV show that never got picked up.
Weird.
It's famously bad. We'll watch it at some point. But yeah, that's Ice. So she's a Norwegian ice and cold wielding character. But I'm pretty sure her powers are magic based.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like to be a little, I mean, I know it doesn't take place in Norway, but to be a little bit like what is it called? Like the Snow Queen, or like the Hans Christian Andersen, like Frozen, like I think it's to tie to Scandinavia and I think it's meant to be a riff on that. Kind of
so what you're saying is that Frozen ripped off Ice.
Yeah, or possibly to be more of a riff on like Norse mythology and ice giants and frost giants and stuff like that. But she's not a giant or anything. I don't think that ever comes up. But yeah,
but it's a character we're not really seeing that much of.
No, and certainly nowadays, I don't know when her last appearance would have been. It's probably during Red Lanterns in the New 52. It's probably been like 6 years since we've seen Ice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next character then. Everyone's favorite, Hollywood Hungen.
Right, Hungen, yeah. This is a weird one. Well,
brother.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a strange one. So this guy, I can't remember his real name, but he's Haitian born or something like that. He's like a scientist,
So why aren't your cards in like alphabetical order?
Some are, but they're also in order by like the series of the cards. There's multiple orders going on.
Okay.
So Hungen, he's like a Haitian born, like a scientist. I think he has some sort of like mechanical or like computer engineering kind of background, like sort of high tech stuff. But his dad gets sick, and I think he sees like a voodoo priest like basically heal his dad, and he becomes obsessed with voodoo. But his thing is that he combines voodoo, like magical practice, with like high tech science. So he has like a cybernetic voodoo doll. And
is this racist?
No. That's about as confident as I'm going to get about that, I think. He becomes a member. This guy Hungen becomes a member of the Brotherhood of Evil, which as far as things that maybe you've read or seen, Brotherhood of Evil came up in Doom Patrol. It was that group of supervillains with Brain and Monsieur Mala and characters like that. But Hungen was briefly a part of the Brotherhood of Evil. I think he mostly fought the Teen Titans.
Yeah, because looking at this
card,
as
opposed to the Doom Patrol.
Looking at this card, the voodoo dolls in the background are the Teen Titans.
Yeah, and the Brotherhood of Evil for a little bit sort of switched from being Doom Patrol villains to being Teen Titans villains, which is why you'll also see them in like Teen Titans Go or stuff like that.
Is Hungen showing up?
Oh God, no!
I was gonna say, I feel like that's the reason why I think it might be racist, because I don't think everyone's too afraid to use them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's inherently racist. But I bet you that it wasn't written unracist. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
I don't think there's anything about the character where you're like, we can't do that. But I think it's like, we need the right person to do this.
Yeah. I feel like any of us that try to do this, it will be racist.
It might be one of those sort of situations, yeah. Again, not a ton to say about Hungen, but yeah, member of the Brotherhood of Evil.
I like that I chose all of these characters that don't show up.
Voodoo and high tech, basically, is his thing if you're looking for the shorthand.
Okay. All right. I'm going through this, and my next choice is Phobia.
Right.
Who kind of like in this image looks like a Disney witch.
She's got like a Maleficent sort of
very much so.
Yeah, it's true. I think we may have talked about Phobia. This would have been forever ago. It might have been like episode 20. Our fear episode. We would have probably talked about Phobia. She has the ability. It's all like psychic, like psionic abilities, but she can basically look into your mind, see your greatest fears, and then she also has the ability to like cast illusions based on those fears. So it's not just mind reading or mind manipulation.
Yeah.
And it's not just that she's making you hallucinate. She is literally manifesting illusions in the real world of things that you fear.
Mm-hmm.
She's a, I would say, lesser villain. I think generally on this list, you've probably picked like lesser characters because
It's hilarious.
well, it's hilarious. And also if you're flipping through a book of cards, you're like, Green Lantern, I know him. You're like going for
Yeah, I'm not going to go for the ones that like we've talked about before, right?
exactly, right? So, but yeah, that's Phobia. I think she's been a member of like some villain team. Maybe not like the Fearsome Five or anything like that, but like those type of teams, that sort of tier. She's pretty low level, I would say. But yeah, it's like illusion casting and reading your fear and sort of reading your mind and those sort of things.
Yeah.
That's what she's able to do.
It really looks like Maleficent.
So that particular card, that image on it, yes, I know precisely what you mean. It looks like the sort of goat horn, like helmet cowl thing. That
the abilities come from her hand. It looks like.
I mean, that might just be how they visually represent it. I don't think it's specific, like, I must use my left hand to access your fear. Because, again, it's
her right hand.
It's like psychic ability. It's psionic. Oh, sorry, right hand? Then never mind, you're right.
Yeah, I thought so. Makes sense.
And I'm left. No, I don't think it's that, because it is like a mental ability, like a psychic ability of hers. But I bet you visually, because you still need to represent it in a dynamic way.
Yes.
I think they do it like that, yeah.
That's fair. All right. Next card comes from Plasmus.
Plasmus, yeah.
Who looks like an atomic warrior type scenario. Like
yeah. Like Toxic of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So Plasmus was like a regular guy. And I think the rough story is that he is, hang on. He's exposed to radiation. He and a bunch of other people are exposed to like pretty intense radiation. Everyone else dies except for him. And then because of that, he is subjected to like horrible experiments that basically like deform him and turn him into this radioactive sort of sludge monster whose touch instantly incinerates like or dissolves anything. Like he can't be touched. It's like a Midas thing, but instead of gold, it's like acid.
Fun.
And he's the acid.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But he also, I think in that process, he like loses his mind. Like he becomes just like a rampagey, like a beast kind of like he's got like ogre brain capacity as opposed to just being like a guy trapped in this body anymore. He sort of loses his intellect. But he is also, if I'm not mistaken, a member of the Brotherhood of Evil.
Really?
I think a member, quote unquote. He has such like
he's appeared.
So little intellect. I think the Brotherhood of Evil just sort of aims him and, like...
It's a Juggernaut scenario.
Yeah, I think they just use Plasmus because he can't communicate. He doesn't even have like Hulk level speech or anything like that. Like he's just like a shambling mass of like incinerating liquid, essentially. Plasmus has shown up in a few different things.
How did he become Plasmus?
Like radiation and then like malicious scientific experiments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's shown up actually in Young Justice season 3. There's a version of Plasmus that shows up, and they kill him, but then realize that it was like a person transformed into like they didn't realize it was just a monster. So I think that's how they do it in the show there. Plasmus, I think, is also shown up in like Teen Titans Go, like some other spots.
It's
like
an easy one because he's just a monster, so it's...
And again, being part of the Brotherhood of Evil, I think that's from the same era where it would have fought the Teen Titans more than the Doom Patrol, I would say. But that idea of a character who's accidentally irradiated and then turned into this thing and loses his mind actually would fit very well as like an adversary / just supporting character in the Doom Patrol. I actually think Plasmus would be pretty neat for that. But that's essentially Plasmus, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's go to the next character.
All right.
Man, these are hilarious. One of your best purchases, I think.
Yeah. I can't take credit. My wife got these for me. My wife. I just learned that joke. What did you think? Have you seen this Borat? It's pretty funny.
The Jews.
Oh no. Never mind. We're done here.
So my character is going to be next. The one that I am selecting next is... No, I know what it is. I'm just
sorry.
trying to find... I know what it is.
I thought you were pausing for time because you needed help.
No. I know who it is. I just...
Okay. I won't help you then.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, fuck you.
The next character is... Fuck you. I know. And fuck you. No, fuck me.
No. I tell you, my uncle once told a story at Christmas. He insisted that he was a high school teacher.
Yeah.
And he insisted that he had a student named Fuck You from like Vietnam or something.
I mean,
he definitely didn't.
That's
yeah. He'd be like, yeah.
We don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah. He'd be like, I would just call on him in class all the time. Be like, fuck you. Yep.
No, fuck you.
Fuck me?
Yeah, fuck you. Oh, wow. We're really in bad territory
This
here.
is bad. At least it's not a video.
Yep. It was someone else. They ran in the room. And what super chat?
Oh, wow. All about the deep cuts this episode.
Yeah,
Can
man.
you just like not find this character? You're just flipping forever.
Yeah, I can't find them at all. But the character is Warp.
Right. Warp is... this is kind of funny, actually.
Lieutenant Warp.
You seem to have picked a bunch of Brotherhood of Evil.
Yeah, that's really weird. Unless there's just
members.
a lot of people in Brotherhood of Evil.
I mean, yes, but also it's just funny that all the ones that you picked were that.
Yeah.
Warp he's actually French. I think his name
Français.
His name is like Emile or something like
Oh.
that. But he has the ability basically to open like portals and to travel through them, and he can bring people with him. Kind of, I mean, for those who need a slightly more recognizable character, kind of like Blink. It's not like Nightcrawler where he teleports himself. It's that he actually opens a portal, moves through it. Not with a portal gun. It's like an actual power of his, but it's like that visual, like the portal gun kind of visual idea that he's sort of throwing and opening in space time and then walking through it and exiting somewhere else. So Warp, like I said, Brotherhood of Evil, of course, but has shown up in a bunch of different comics. He's been part of a few different things. Both he and Plasmus, I think, feature a bit. Like, I think they feature above their pay grade in that Salvation Run series where all of the villains are on that alien planet and they're trying to find their way back. I think ultimately for Plasmus, what that means is Luthor, I think, powers his like portal device with Plasmus, and Warp has something to do with that too, I think. And I think they're maybe both killed in the process.
Oh.
Like to get the villains home or something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially Warp. He did show up in the New 52 briefly. So did Plasmus, I think, during kind of the Forever Evil sort of events when the Secret Society of Supervillains was basically busy recruiting.
Yeah.
I think you see him a bit there, but he's a pretty low tier character. Again, like portals are like not a bad power. They're pretty cool, but like he's already in the Brotherhood of Evil, which is sort of like a lesser team. And he's like a lesser member of that team, right? The fact that they even made a trading card about him is actually kind of funny to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That his helmet is hilarious. This like weird tubular, like curved, like cornucopia looking thing.
Yeah, it almost looks like he's poking his head out of a gramophone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know why you went like hog wild on the Brotherhood there. But.
I don't know either. I'm not intentionally, honestly. I looked for the most ridiculous characters.
Well, I think you've done a great job.
Well, let's see if the next one is.
Sure.
I don't think it is.
Should we take a break?
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. The Dr. DC podcast will be back after this quick break. Dr. Podcast will be back after this break. then we'll do some more podcasts. But right now, we are going to do one for you today.
This episode of the Dr. DC podcast is brought to you thanks to our sponsor, Great Lakes Grooming Company. They're our day ones, baby. And by that, I mean they came in during our first Docmas, so they're really more like our week 20-somethings.
Baby. Bonsoir.
I'm in the process slowly of kind of growing out a more luxurious mustache.
Stash, yeah.
All sorts of great products. But now I'm like using like some mustache products.
Ooh, are you gonna like curl it out? Like,
Well,
are you gonna...
I haven't decided fully if I'm gonna like let it grow all the way out like that, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
At the very least, just to take care of it as it gets a little bushier. You can use Beard Balm. They also have like mustache products, mustache wax and stuff like that. I'm using that stuff in my beard just to keep it looking nice, keep my mustache looking fresh as I endeavor to get that bad boy going, get some Tom Selleck action happening.
Honestly, that beard balm, it makes your beard smell so good.
Oh yeah.
Which is really nice. And then I also, after I put a little bit in my beard, I push it a little bit into my hair too.
I thought you were gonna say pubes.
I twist my little pubes up a nice and
up a nice,
and the wife likes it a much.
Peppermint lime lip balm.
Oh, it's also good on your dick.
I was going to say something really horrible there that I didn't. No, I'm gonna do it now.
Oh, okay.
I also use the peppermint lime lip balm. I think partially because I have a beard and like a mustache, it's very easy to like neglect the mouth because you sometimes can't see it.
But, I mean, with me, you're always neglecting the mouth. You just go south immediately.
Well, you know, when I come over, I'm here for business. So
that's right. One way or another.
The peppermint lime lip balm, though, it helps keep your lips from being chapped or dry. All of their products are designed to be easy and ready to use, rain or shine.
Environmentally responsible.
They're purposefully designed. They're handmade in Canada.
That's
They're ready
right.
for adventure wherever one may find themselves. And you lucky listeners can get 10% off on Great Lakes Grooming's regular price products. There's way more than the ones that we just mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
But you go to greatlakesgrooming.com and use the promo code Dr. DC Podcast. It's www.greatlakesgrooming.com, promo code DRDC Podcast. And now,
back to the show.
Great Lakes away.
That's it. I'm coming out of the closet. Great Lakes is gay. This talk made me aroused.
I have a horse sidekick. Great Lakes is hey.
Oh, I was going to say is nay.
Oh shit. There's so many options.
Yeah.
Let's leave all this in.
Yeah. Do you think I'm editing this? Are you fucking kidding me? And no. And we're back.
Great Lakes to stay.
Yes, you really like that one.
I do. I don't know why.
Great Lakes today.
Oh.
Great Lakes is bay.
You tell me.
But that needs to be a shirt.
Great Lakes is bay.
Yeah.
Just the cloud.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. That means we're going to our next character.
All right. What do we got?
Great Lakes. I made a card.
Remember the Brotherhood of Evil?
Yeah. Obviously. Did I already say Aries?
No.
Oh, Aries.
Aries. I just want to point out that when you were picking these, you were like,
oh, fuck you.
Aries?
Aries is what I said?
Even though this is the spelling of the God of War.
Technically, I'm used to the horoscope sign.
Yeah, the
Aries.
bullshit. Yeah, the bullshit version. Yeah.
I know. I was really just playing a bunch of Final Fantasy, and I was like,
sure, yeah.
Aerith.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wanted it to be Aerith. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is Ares, as in, like, the Olympian Ares, the Greek god of war.
The same.
It's
one in the same.
One in the same. He's a Wonder Woman adversary. He's one of her main villains.
I gotta tell you, he looks very much like a Lord of the Rings character.
Well, yeah, he's got a... Yeah, fair enough, because you can't see his face in the helmet and things like that.
And it's that, like...
Unlike in the movie where not only can you see his face, you can see his mustache. But yeah, I mean, Ares, like the primary antagonist in the Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, is that who that is?
Really? Yes, the guy with the Ares helmet who says he's the god of war is Ares.
I don't know, man. I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, he's based on like the actual Ares of Greek myth. So a lot of the similar things are true, that he's Olympian, that he's the son of Zeus, that he is the god of war, all of these things. But then, because they're Wonder Woman stories, they deviate from the actual stories of myth a little bit. Often he's being held prisoner by the Amazons. Like the Amazons have a specific charge on Earth to sort of counter Ares or contain or whatever. For a bit in the New 52, Ares was killed / defeated, and Wonder Woman took his place, became the god of war. And in that series, they talk about the idea that being the god of war means that whether or not you like it or agree with it, you actually embody that thing. So what it implies is that Ares actually stokes visions of violence and war and distrust and things like that wherever he goes by being the god of war. That being, if you're around Ares for long enough, that those thoughts and those feelings will seep into your head just because that's who he is.
Yeah.
He can't stop it or anything. Like, that's the charge of being the god of war. And in that New 52 series, Wonder Woman sort of deals with that a little bit. But he's got lots of other, flight, saber strength, durability.
Yeah.
He can like dimensional travel because he can go to and from Olympus, which is AKA like Skyland, which is in the sphere of the gods, which is
is that where Spyro is?
Which is beyond the multiverse. Yeah, exactly. It's precisely where Spyro is.
In Skylanders?
Yeah, I mean, Ares is wildly powerful. And like I said, one of Wonder Woman's main villains. I'd say next to Cheetah, like her biggest villain.
Do they have a lot of representation of like Greek mythology characters within like Wonder Woman stuff?
Yeah, actually. I mean,
because it feels like they've kind of leaned away from like Greek mythology stuff in recent years, but
it's actually the opposite. Recent years is where they've gone back to it.
Oh, okay.
But like the silver, when we were on the Patreon, we were looking through that big tome of yours, and we found some like weird Silver Agey Wonder Woman villains,
like giant eggs,
Paperman.
Yeah. Wow, you know the R&D department at those paper companies.
It's actually recent year. I mean, the New 52 run of Wonder Woman is almost exclusively about the Olympians.
Oh, really? Okay.
Almost entirely. And the stuff that's happening right now includes Aphrodite. It's included Ares.
Hercules in these? Or?
We have had Hercules in these in relatively recent years. We've had I can't remember how to say the name, but like Atlantiades or whatever. It's basically like an intersex child of Aphrodite's. I mean the presence of the Olympians and that sort of pantheon of gods is like all through Wonder Woman comics now. It wasn't for a long time. Recent comics have found a way to make it really dynamic and make it work. But yeah, I mean, Ares, huge villain. That's like, it'd be like naming like the Riddler.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how high up Ares is on Wonder Woman's sort of baddies.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, there you go. All right, let's go to the next character. Desaad.
Yeah, Desaad. Desaad is this is part of the Fourth World. It's part of like the New Gods sort of arena of characters. Desaad is a very, very loyal acolyte of Darkseid and one of his elite, one of his like trusted sort of lieutenants. Although I think he's born on New Genesis, he's like born on the good world and then is corrupted by Darkseid. And so corrupted that not only is he like a complete sycophant, totally loyal to Darkseid, he also becomes his like master torturer. He actually takes his name from the Marquis de Sade.
Wow.
Which is why he's called Desaad. He's like the foremost torturer of the DC universe. He is like both in method and practice and experience. Like there is no one better at torture than Desaad. No one better at like attaining information through torture than Desaad, and no one more creative or cruel at torture than him. But basically, he in terms of other abilities, He's like any of the other new gods. Compared to people, he has enhanced strength, durability. He's immortal, or rather, like super long lived.
Yeah.
You can kill him, but he has a mother box. He could travel between dimensions and between worlds. Because he's from New Genesis and Apocalypse, there's only one of him. There's not like a Desaad on each Earth. There is one Desaad who lives on Apocalypse in the multiverse and then can sort of invade other Earths. Just like Darkseid, just like Mr. Miracle, just like any of those other characters. But yeah, like him along with like, I'd say like Glorious Godfrey, Steppenwolf, Calabac, maybe Kanto and Granny Goodness. Or maybe like the what's his name, like Wunderbar. Maybe all of them are like Darkseid's elite, like his most trusted advisors and servants. So Desaad is like, if you were playing the video game of beating Darkseid, you would face Desaad like maybe third last. He's way up there. Yeah,
fair enough.
He's sort of got like a mangled face, and in the New 52, there was this thing about, Darkseid trying to kidnap different versions of Superman through the multiverse or through hypertime, and Desaad was basically like torturing them, twisting them, trying to like figure out what he could make Kryptonian DNA do, basically. Like, it's really like, he's like a Nazi eugenics kind of like scientist. He's got that sort of vibe to him.
Yeah, I mean, the look of him is pretty brutal. I mean, he looks like he's deformed, but then has these like thimble things on the end of his fingers. And yeah, he definitely.
But again, the shorthand, he's the master torturer of the DC universe.
Well, I'm sure that that could come in handy sometimes.
I mean, but if you work for Darkseid, it's a good skill to have.
Yeah. All right. The next character that we're going to go through is Invasion.
Oh, right. I have some cards.
Oh, not a character.
I have some cards that are like storylines, things like that. Invasion is actually one that you're at least passingly familiar with because they adapted it for one of the crossovers one year on the CW.
Oh, yes.
Invasion is basically about the Dominators, this alien race with mind control abilities, invading, like coming in to take over Earth. The Dominators are a pretty aggressive species in that crossover, and possibly also in the Invasion story. I gotta remind myself. I think they're doing it though because they see like the superhumans as like a threat. They see like the preponderance of like metahumans on Earth, all the superheroes in that, as like a galactic threat that needs to be stopped and contained. So the Dominators kind of see themselves as like, we're protecting our interests by sort of invading and trying to take down the superheroes of Earth. So on the crossover, it was I think that's the first time you saw Firestorm transmute anything, because he turns this big bomb into water.
Yeah.
I think in Invasion, it may have included the Metagene bomb. I'm just double checking because it's going to bug me if I miss this. Oh, I'm not going to remember. But essentially, the gene bomb is in Invasion. Essentially, they're going to they have this bomb that ends up activating the metagene in a bunch of metahumans. But their original purpose is to try and destroy the Earth because they see superhumans as a threat. That's essentially the Invasion storyline. It would be like, I don't know if there's like a correlating story of like, in any pop culture, of us invading another world preemptively and being the heroes. You know what I mean? But that's essentially what the Dominators are doing with Earth.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
How did you think of the of that crossover?
It's kind of, you mean like the actual one on TV?
Yeah.
It was all right. I think that's the first one that had all the shows in it.
Yeah.
Supergirl,
I think so,
Legends, and Flash and Arrow.
Well,
I thought it was pretty solid. There's some cool shots of like everyone fighting. They gave everyone a little bit of something to do. There's some time travel in it as well.
Do you think that it did a good job of like giving homage to the actual source material?
I mean, broad strokes, right? You know, because we're not including a bunch of characters,
yeah.
But they did have like the element of like the gene bomb kind of thing was in there. the idea of why they were invading. I think in that crossover they made it about Flashpoint, that they knew Barry had fucked the timeline, and they were like, we can't trust this planet of metahumans. We got to destroy them. So they made it about that instead of just there being metahumans. But I think that was the idea. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was the one I didn't really care for.
I mean, compared to some of the other ones, it doesn't rank as right. Crisis on Earth X, Elseworlds are like way better than Invasion, but it was solid. I think they were still like learning how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, the last character we are doing, Yuga Khan.
Ooh, shit. If you thought Darkseid was bad.
Really?
There is only one person, I think, that you could say that Darkseid has ever been said to fear, and it's Yuga Khan.
Wow, because I mean, they really put Darkseid as like the sort of be all end all in DC.
Well, but what could be beyond Darkseid? His daddy.
What?
Yuga Khan is Darkseid's father.
Holy shit!
The original ruler of Apokolips, who basically goes after the source, which is beyond the source walls, beyond the multiverse. It's like the energy that, I mean, it's the energy of life, essentially.
Yeah.
But in the new gods sort of world, it's also like what powers their mother boxes. It like the source is this sort of like unassailable, unknowable thing, and he tries to know it and things like that. And he ends up stuck in the source wall, which is it was the boundary of the multiverse, and if you tried to move past it, you were just absorbed into it forever. So Yuga Khan was sort of trapped in the source wall for a very, very long time, but he did manage to escape, which no one really does.
Yeah.
No one does. Asterix, and then go down to the footnote. A bunch of people have done it. Read comic books. But when Yuga Khan came back, that actually is like a moment Darkseid had like actual fear. Because Yuga Khan is more powerful in some ways than Darkseid because he also has source manipulation abilities. He can control the source in a small sort of radius around him. So he could deactivate mother boxes, or he can, like affect new gods and their physiology and stuff like that by manipulating the source. More recent, I mean, it's years ago now, but more recent version. We've talked about in Darkseid War, that bit where Shazam lost his connection to his gods.
Yes.
And the wizard quickly gave him the powers of other gods that managed to spell Shazam.
Yeah.
The Zed during that period of time was for Zonuz, which they revealed was an alternate name of Yuga Khan. And it gave Billy source manipulation abilities.
Holy shit.
Because that's one of Yuga Khan's.
That's crazy.
So for a brief period of time, he had source manipulation abilities.
That's crazy.
Granted by Yuga Khan. But yeah, it's Darkseid's father, the original ruler of Apokolips, who does ultimately end up back in the source wall again. More permanently.
What's currently going on with him?
I don't think we've seen Yuga Khan even other than that reference in Darkseid War, I don't think we've seen him since Flashpoint.
Oh, really? Wow.
But he's generally he's just like, he's part of the old gods, right? And then there's the new gods, right? He's like the old generation. He's sort of like they've moved past him. And I think also because of how they've set up Darkseid, you don't want to constantly be like, what's better than Darkseid when you've set him up as the baddest, right?
There's a very like Norse mythology look to him for sure.
Yeah, that's true. He kind of, that's true. There's like a horned helmet and that sort of thing. Kind of like when they show like Thor's grandfather in one of those Thor movies when they show Bor.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's true.
Is this a character you would like to see again?
I actually don't think I need to. In the way that, like, I don't necessarily need us to keep diving into, like, I don't need to see the Wayne's shot again. I don't need, like, we have some stories, a couple of stories with Yuga Khan. We know that he comes before Darkseid. We know he's bad. We know he was after the source. We know he got stuck in the source wall. I don't think I need him back. But if there were a time where we were going to see him again, it would make sense if it were now because the source wall has been destroyed. If anyone was going to survive that, it'd be Yuga Khan.
For sure.
So if we were going to see him again, I would expect it to be sort of in this run of Justice League with Scott Snyder.
How do you think they could use him that would actually feel like
maybe
valuable?
Well, maybe Lex Luthor goes after like the new gods of Apocalypse and that to help tip the multiverse toward doom, right? Self-interest, being evil, because it's basically the moral battle right now. Like the multiverse is careening towards the Omniverse judges, and they need it to be in a justice formation. But Lex Luthor and Perpetua and these other characters are trying to bend it towards a doom formation where they would then basically conquer the Omniverse. So if you were going to put them in, it would be like the Justice League has already recruited the Monitor and the World Forger. Yeah. They're trying to get the Anti-Monitor. So if they're lining up those big guns, it would make sense if like the Legion of Doom went for something like Yuga Khan.
Totally.
Some other sort of big gun to tip it the other way.
Yeah.
If you were going to use them, I think this would be the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's it for the trading cards today.
Yeah.
But you know what that means.
Oh my God.
This is a regular episode.
Oh no.
That means...
What have I done?
It's time for Dial Doc. So, Dial Doc is awesome because it is based off of the Dial H for Hero comics of old, and they've brought back now. The rough idea is that in the past, a lot of people would submit ideas for their own characters. So they had this comic series where a character would find a payphone and dial hero or evil, and they would become a hero or a villain. Through that, they would, for a small period of time, get to turn into some sort of randomly created and usually reader generated hero. Ones that wouldn't be good enough to actually stand on their own in an actual main series comic, but was fun enough for these sort of one-off sort of one-shots. So each week, we try to come up with our own randomly generated on-the-spot character and present that to you. So, within all of the time that I've taken to explain what this is, have you had enough time to come up with a character?
I think so.
Good, because that will help me.
So my character is called Desantaigu. Desantaigu. And basically,
fucking
very French with like a beret and like the mime stripes.
Of course, yes.
But their ability is basically to like elicit more or a better quality of like decency from anyone. So they kind of have to mime something, and they can like basically if someone is like gonna kick a kitten, they make them more decent, and then they like pet the kitten instead. This person's power is to temporarily and within a radius make people better than they are.
That's really funny because my character,
oh no,
his name is Ethics.
What? Really?
Yes.
Was this because I brought up the Justice Doom War thing?
I don't think it is. I think it just we were on the same wavelength tonight.
Our cycles are aligning.
Apparently. My character's ability is to control morality. So their ability is to basically
like morality as an abstract construct, or more like to alter a person's morality.
So a group of people's morality. So around the area, they can decide whether an action is going to be morally just or is going to be immoral. So whether they want to stop someone from doing something or they want to do something bad themselves, they have the ability to sort of change the general idea. So if they wanted to like rob a bank, they could like tell everybody around them, hey, robbing a bank's fine.
Sure,
and everybody just starts robbing the bank and they just leave.
And is it the saying it that makes it true? Like they have to say it out loud what is good or what is bad?
Yeah. Right. You could just be like, hey, wow, that's not okay. You can't walk across the street like that. And then everybody's just like, hey, what the hell is that guy doing? Stop walking across the street. We don't do that.
Right.
Get him.
Good example of morality, jaywalking.
Wow.
The real scourge of our society.
Well, first I said robbing a bank, to be fair. The two ends of the spectrum, I think.
Not only did he rob a bank and murder a policeman, he jaywalked.
The worst of them all.
You're gonna fry.
It's crazy that we're on the same...
I waited a long time for this, you jaywalking son of a bitch.
I think I've told you this in person, but I don't think I've ever said it on the podcast. So There's a game I play with this. No, wait for me to finish the sentence. There's a game I play with a kid that when we babysit. Yeah, where we call it electric chair, and so they had this sort of like leather sort of like one person chair inside their house that we would go to our friend's house and watch their he's probably I think he's 3 years old,
right?
And we had this game where I would sit him inside the chair, and he liked it because it was kind of like a rocking chair, but it would swivel left and right rather than back and forth.
Sure.
And I would shake the chair,
right?
And I would, but before I do it, because he loved when I shake the chair, I go, you're gonna fry for this, punk. You can't hurt these people anymore. And I would shake the chair, and the kid would go.
I love that you're doing like the mean cop talk to him.
I'm go like, look at the survivors. They're just in the window.
Nobody's gonna remember your name.
Yes. And he goes, I also another game I played. When he would come visit our house, there was a game I would play called Garbage, where he would lay on the couch and he was sitting on side of this in the middle of this big blanket, and I would go and he would wrap himself in the blanket, and then he would giggle because nobody could see him, and then I would walk over and go, "Huh, where did he go?" Well, all I see is this big pile of garbage here. And then I'd bundle it all up and swing it over my shoulder and start walking outside. And I go, guess I'm going to bring the garbage out. And then he goes, I'm not garbage.
He's going to have such self-esteem issues. My babysitter called me garbage and electrocuted me.
And then when he started...
You son of a bitch.
He started loving the game so much that he would then wrap himself up and go, I'm garbage. So that I would grab him and bring him to the garbage.
I mean, that's adorable, but it's also kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, well, and I would start walking away, and then he'd start screaming that he wasn't garbage and don't put him in the trash. Which I then should have put him in the electric chair and been like, yeah, you are garbage, punk.
And I'm here to take out the trash.
So if you want me to babysit your kid,
wow, yeah,
I'm a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. I do think that's hilarious.
It's a really fun game to play. We would love to know what kind of characters you guys can come up with. Obviously, we say it every week, but we love when you tweet at us, you send us Facebook message. We love that when you do the same thing for episodes that we may have. When you send those questions in, like the next episode that you might be able to do this for, do we have an idea of what that theme is?
Well, the next episode after this one, I think we might still technically be guarding the secret at this time of recording.
Oh, God, the secret!
But the episode after this one,
God,
we probably by now will know what it
if it's happening for sure.
It's happening for sure, and we'll have put it out in the world. But at the time of recording,
and your boners will be so large.
We're playing coy about it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
Daddy's got a secret.
But it's gonna be dope as hell.
Yeah.
Oh
God, I don't want to build it up too much in case it doesn't happen. But
fine, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
But what if they're listening?
Oh God.
It's gonna be dope as hell, probably. Maybe.
Yeah. We're super confident. Listen to
it. But theme or not, if you have a question about DC Comics, send it. Because it'll either fit a theme that we already have planned, it'll inspire us for a theme that we haven't done yet.
So, if you got an idea, send it to the following places, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast,
our Twitter,
at Dr. DC,
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast,
of course, our email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com,
and our Reddit,
r/Dr_DC.
And of course, the Doc phone is now open.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-3238. What?
DCEU. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Trill Man.
It's no problem. Blah, 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 blah. That's the problem with Trill Man. If he drowns, no one understands.
How would they know?
Yeah, exactly. And of course,
it just comes out like smooth, like,
yeah. Like, I'm drowning.
Trill Man, no.
It's okay. I'm all right now.
Put it back in.
You know what we love? We love when we get them sweet reviews.
Yeah.
We're heading towards 52, so we can get DC tattoos.
That's right. We're getting
We only need like 10, maybe a few more. Yeah.
I mean, by the time this comes out, possibly even less.
Yeah.
But send those reviews. iTunes, Facebook, Podbean,
Take a photo and send it over to us of if you do a review that's not Facebook or iTunes, because I don't know, I don't have tentacles into every single source of podcast reviews.
Find a clip of tentacle porn, but replace the subtitles with a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast.
Ooh.
Submit it to Pornhub and then send us the link.
Make a video what seems like will be hardcore porn, but when you see the dick, it's actually just a 5-star review being inserted into a podcast.
Yeah, it's
an iPhone.
Yeah, spit in my Stitcher premium account.
Yeah, you're missing those things where it's like it's hardcore porn, but instead they replace the dick with a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
Do that with a 5-star review.
Yeah, I like that.
Go to a glass blowing and ask them to blow a 5-star review.
Yeah, of the
Usually I have to blow to get one.
of the Dr. DC podcast. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've got like your scuba certification, I think what you should do is like just go selectively find like really beautiful like rocks on the riverbed, like nice smoothed out from erosion, bring them to the shore and spell out a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast.
Do you have a loved one that maybe is ready to pass away? Go to the
Play this episode and finish the job.
Even better. Go to the card store. Get one of those cards that you can record a message into.
Oh, yeah.
Make it a 5-star review and then give it to that loved one.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll end on a good note.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget to say I love you. I mean, if you do, I guess.
Yeah. I guess more like I love Dr. DC is fine. Yeah.
That more ideal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they would be like, me too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If your final words could be a review for Dr. DC podcast, I'd really appreciate that. But make sure you get it on
if you can make like you know what you should do, and this is a good little segue.
Yeah.
Make a living will that pledges $5 a month to our Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Sweet daddy. I like that.
.com/Dr. DC.
That is some transition skills, unlike the gods of transition.
I am the god of... No. I shouldn't say that. Hang on. No. I saw what I was about to do.
Yeah, I know.
Been inappropriate.
I agree. Of course.
I'm good at segues, though. But yeah,
speaking of segues, go to our Patreon.
Patreon.com/Dr. DC. It is only $5 a month. You get a full bonus episode every week. They come out on Fridays. It's the double dose. We talk DC. We talk Marvel. We talk comics, movies, TV, board games, music, Canada, fears. We talk about our feelings.
There is some feelings for sure.
There actually are some feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Come feel with us.
Yeah, feel us.
You feel me?
Yo, you feel me?
Okay, let's...
What?
Easy.
Was it the yo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's too much.
Yeah, I was worried about that. Tell us your fears.
Yeah. What's your greatest fear? You said that we won't get a 5-star review.
Because that's mine.
That's mine, yeah.
Well, the only way to find out is to listen next week.
That's right.
So we'll talk to you then.
Adios.
Ciao. Just stretching for time. Give me to 1 hour.
I'm glad that I caught myself before I fully said the
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.